What's an oh shit moment where you realized you've been doing something the wrong way for years? I owned a light blue colored microwave for about 3 years that a family member gave me for a housewarming gift. Thought it was cool, never saw a blue microwave before. One night, a buddy asked why I never took the blue plastic wrap off my microwave, then proceeded to peel it off for me. Damn, that bitch is silver. Still miss my blue microwave sometimes though. After moving to a new city, I went to the laundromat and the Korean lady working was yelling at me about something I couldn't understand. After some pantomime it became clear that she was upset I was putting in the wrong detergent, but it was the same kind I have been using for 8 years, since moving away to college and behind. Turns out I've been washing my clothes with only fabric softener for nearly a decade. They always smelled good, so I never really thought about it. Not my proudest moment. My family always had a cup next to the bathroom sink in case you needed to rinse your mouth after brushing your teeth or maybe get a quick drink of water in the middle of the night. My grandma had the same cup at her house. I used it for years whenever I was thirsty. One day she saw me doing this and said, "Don't use that cup. That's where grandma puts her teeth." When I was a kid, I was told that the paper that came on cupcakes muffins was edible. I would spend a decade eating them like this, paper and all, until a friend pointed it out. #X200B. Travel frequently for work and only just noticed that most laptop bags have a strap to place over a rolling suitcase handle. I taught myself how to play clarinet. 6 months later someone told me that I'd been playing with the mouthpiece upside down. I used to fill the kettle by the spout. My parents have always done it this way. I thought the center part was mainly for decoration, but not functional. I don't know why I never questioned this. One day I bought a new tea kettle and my husband was like, "WTF, what is inside this?" and with great ease, opened the center to pull out a manual with instructions and whatnot. I was drinking dirty paper water for like 2 weeks. I used to pull my pants down all the way at the urinal. Found out I was lighting incense wrong. Boyfriend and I got a bunch to add to our collection of nice smells and we would light them and they would just start a little inferno. Convinced we were buying cheap, garbage incense, we stopped using them. I proceed to buy a different brand in a hope those would work. I test light and same thing, it just goes up in an inferno. Roommate informs us you are supposed to blow them out once they catch. Oops. Edit, Reddit Silver. Thank you so much. As well as a grammar edit. Who knew possibly burning the apartment down would lead to such a response to seemingly common knowledge of how incense work? I always thought eggplant tasted itchy, like itchy was a flavor, like sour or salty. Fed some to my baby and his face turned red wherever the eggplant touched, and I realized we're both just allergic to eggplant. And itchy isn't a flavor. Edit, thank you for the silver, kind internet strangers. One day I used the key fob to remotely start my dad's car. It was an oh shit moment for him. 2 years and he didn't realize he had this handy little function. I owned a car with swivel headlights and it was very nice to have that. Discovered 3 years in that I had never turned on the swivel feature. I didn't find out that I was supposed to punch out for lunch until my 3rd job. And even then it was because a coworker mentioned it in passing that they were clocking out for lunch. Not mine, but my dad has been spelling his name wrong his whole life. Hess 51. His name is Jeffrey, and Hess been spelling it like that since he learned how to spell his name. A few months ago my mom pulled out his birth certificate, and we all learned it's actually spelled Jeffrey. Not sure if he spells it correctly now, but it was definitely an oh shit moment for him. Cock guns. Everyone says that you're supposed to pull it towards you, but I saw a Reddit comment saying that they're designed to be pushed away instead. My boss looks at me funny for doing it, but it's exponentially cleaner and tighter. Edit, quite a few of y'all are mentioning that you're unclear on what you're pushing away. When you cock you slide the entire gun across the crack that you're sealing, so it's that. You can only ever slide it towards you or away from you, unless you're going sideways, I guess, and most people pull the entire gun and tip towards them, whereas sliding it in the other direction works too. A few of you all sound like you know exactly what you're doing and have added a couple other tips on how to do it cleaner and better, too, so thanks for that. My wife and I have this ceiling fan light in our bedroom in the house we moved into 2 years ago. It has a remote control for the fan and lights. About a year and a half ago the lights suddenly stopped working. The fan works well and we didn't have a ton of money, so we've just lived with lamps in the room, always being frustrated with how damn dark it is. I was scrolling some other thread on AskReddit Tifu a few weeks ago and the top post was a guy talking about how his lights stopped working years ago, and then he found out that it was just dimmed, which you do by holding down the button on the remote. It sounded so much like our fan I went and tried it. Dimmed. Living in a foreign country where I was actively learning the language. Social cues go a long way when learning a language on the spot. That being said, someone once said a phrase to me while serving a hot dish, which I assumed as meaning "excuse me." After going through crowds and lines, replicating the same phrase in an attempt to be respectful of those around me, I abruptly found out that the phrase actually meant enjoy. Hindsight, completely makes sense. The odd looks I would get by saying enjoy while squeezing past people all of a sudden made sense. Edit, wowzers, you all really know how to make a grown man blush. Thanks for the gold and silver, you beautiful beautiful strangers. I'm glad my mistakes bring such enjoyment and hilarity to the world. So this happened while I was living in Vietnam. The phrase was "sin me." It was even more deceiving because it was similar to the phrase for sorry, which is "sin li." That was year 1. The following 3 years were full of similar mistakes. Tonal languages are tough. Not 'cause I've been doing something wrong my entire life, but saw it wrong. I'm colorblind and my entire life I thought peanut butter was green until I turned 19. And when I found out it was brown my mind was blown. It took so long because no one really talks about the color of things like that. When I first got a debit card and would go out to eat at restaurants with my friends, I would leave a cash tip on the table. When I got the receipt to put how much I was paying, I would write down how much money I left on the table. For at least 6 months I gave double tips to every waitress I had. Edit, word. I have a flashlight that I've had for near a decade. I originally got it because it really looks like a lightsaber, and it was cheap. Plus you could twist the lens around to focus it, or so I thought. When I got it home and put batteries in it, I found out that twisting the top didn't change the focus. I assume the top being able to twist was just a result of it being cheap. Fast forward to a month or so ago, a storm picked up during the night, so I went out to check nothing was going to blow away. As I was trying to open the gate, the flashlight slipped, and I caught it by the top part that twists. But the rest of the flashlight slid about 2 inches down from the twisty part, and it turns out if you pull the top part up, it turns it into a lantern type thing for lighting up an area. It's nothing big, but there have been times where it would have been incredibly useful to be able to put the torch down and light up a wide area. Edit, okay, so I didn't expect this, but here are some pictures, seeing as so many people are interested. And no, it's not a fleshlight. How it remained for 10 years. https://imgur.com and 2mwcf what I discovered it could do. https://imgur.com again with its final form. https://imgur.com 6L6CQZS edit 2, just a quick WTF this blew up edit, and also up in pomegranate actually found it, the legend. https www.reddit.com AskReddit comments B0E6 Taiwatsana shit moment where you realize that you've ifed 5G. Former school nurse here. The number of high school boys who don't know what circumcision is amazingly high. Many think they were born circumcised. When they finally see a foreskin, they are in complete awe. When they find out the brown ring on their penis is a scar from when their foreskin was removed, they are also amazed. My mom has been pronouncing Massachusetts Massachusetts for years and no one corrected her because they thought she just had strong feelings about Massachusetts.